The Last Dance premiered on April 19, 2020, where the COVID-19 pandemic was at its peak and people were required to tuck safely at home. The series drew an average viewership of about 7 million viewers, but behind the scenes, it unleashed a tsunami of new interest in the sports card hobby, with Michael Jordan leading the way. In this video, we'll explore this documentary and its detailed effects to the hobby, and give my assessment on the future documentaries to come. What's up YouTube, Card Boss here. We talk about everything cards, money, investing. Alright, let's go. For those who are unfamiliar, The Last Dance is a 10-part series featuring the greatest basketball player of all time, Michael Jordan, focusing on his final campaign in 1998. While the series centered around Jordan, his other co-stars Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Steve Kerr also had prominent appearances alongside with guest cameos from Charles Barkley and Reggie Miller among others. The series was well received by sports fans in need of some form of entertainment, given that all live sports were put on hold due to the pandemic. But what entailed was totally unexpected. In times of economic uncertainty, sports cards was looking at another massive 2008 price correction. However, it's probably people's increased savviness in their spending over the years and savings versus a decade ago that sports cards weren't thrown into a fire sale frenzy. Instead, the only fire was the blaze that The Last Dance was fueling. People were aware of where the market was heading through the news and social media, but what exactly was happening to the hobby? We all know that Michael Jordan didn't exactly jump on a TV screen and to tell you to buy sports cards. While people remember and recognize Jordan's iconic 1986 Fleer rookie card, there were tons of other Jordan-era cards that were printed in millions and barely worth anything before the release of the documentary. We know the iconic inserts, but I'm referring to his various base cards, inserts, and gold parallels, and even subsets. But the combination of The Last Dance and home quarantine due to COVID provided the perfect storm, the perfect opportunity for people to go through their basements, attics, garage, and to dig out those boxes of cards which had kept stored away for more than 20 years. So for a period of 30 to 50 days, there was a huge influx of Michael Jordan cards that entered the market. And it wasn't just the Jordans that spurred interest from collectors and investors. Seeing the popularity of the hobby skyrocket in a span of weeks, other notable present-day staples in the hobby started gearing up again, after trending down for just 2 weeks from the announcement of the NBA season postponement. But why is the sudden interest in Jordan cards? Yeah, we can say it's reliving the nostalgia of the 90s, but I believe that's only just part of the reason. Despite being dubbed the junk wax era, it was actually the golden boom period of card collecting. While the cards then eventually didn't worth a lot of money due to overprinting, many people, and I mean a lot of people, didn't realize what they had kept tucked in their homes for all these years. Sure, they probably heard that card prices has gone up in the last 20 years, but having real life commitments, career, family, business, all taking precedence over their childhood hobby, hence they haven't had the time nor the energy to think about going through all their stuff until now. The result? Thousands of cards started coming out of the woodwork. Not everything was great or investable, of course, but there were a number of people who had kept their collections in pristine condition, and these too started to flood the market and was grabbing the attention of investors who knew that there would be a nice premium to be made when grading these cards. So we had two fronts of buyers, investors hunting out pristine or gradable condition Jordans, and the others seeking a slice of nostalgia. Regardless, the surge in activity was pumping the heart of the hobby that resonated across the entire card market, right up to the modern era cards. The dip in early March was a mere puddle on the road, and the card craze continued to cruise along. For my lucky friends who are based in the States, $2 trillion of stimulus checks were sent out early April 2020, with most entitled people getting around $1,200 in extra spending money. Of course, I'm not saying everything went to sports cards, but it was enough of a jolt to the hobby when you multiply $1,000 spending against every eligible sports card collector or investor in the States. If you take example 50,000 people and multiply that by $1,000, that's $50 million of fresh capital entering the system in such a short period of time. Neither COVID or The Last Dance had anything to do directly with the people spending their checks on cards, but The Last Dance ignited a phenomenon in the card industry, and people, suddenly with extra free cash in their pockets, Couldn't wait to get onto the action. And it showed in the charts. Jordan 4th year base, Jordan 97 Chrome base, Metal Universe base, and these are just raw examples. What about Gemmin PSA 10s? And it's not just the Jordans. What about his wingman Scotty? His cards went up tenfolds too. So it wasn't just the cards itself that became popular. There was a lot more money into the system by virtue of stimulus checks alone. And we haven't considered other new capital from investors, both within and abroad. It wouldn't surprise me if there was any data on this. It would show something in the range of between $200 to $300 million. PSA and other grading companies were already nearing or at capacity with their grading volume. Zion Mania was at its full swing after Zion returned from injury in mid-January. Luka was balling like MVP, and cards were flying into PSA in masses even before the Last Dance craze kicked off. Despite that, PSA wanted to get in on the Last Dance festivities as well, offering a quarterly special to grade any Michael Jordan card valued below $200 for just $10. There was no official numbers out there, but I'm pretty certain that PSA got avalanched by just the quarterly specials alone, in addition to all the other submissions that was picking up steam from month to month. You can see some examples I'm sharing, but pretty sure there are thousands more not shared on camera. Even I sent in 102 cards. So it's clear the Last Dance was the catalyst in the sports cards surge in spring, and now we know the reasons. I guess it's easy for anyone to make the simple assumption that documentaries will have a direct positive relation to future upswings of the card market. It sounds so easy, doesn't it? The next question on everyone's mind would be, has this and will this translate the same to all other future sports documentaries? We don't have to look very far to the next biggest documentary, which was Tiger, a two-part series based on Tiger Woods adapted from his 2018 book. The series aired on January 10th and to the 17th, 2021, and when you look at the charts for his card price, he went on a huge spike just before the series aired and took a nosedive right after it ended. However, I don't call this investing, it's pure speculation, and you win or lose big by speculating. Some of you probably made some money off this and don't agree with my comment, but I'm a medium-term investor, and lining up assets for a documentary is not what I would call smart investing. Still, there'll be groups of investors or speculators who would continue to look ahead at 2021 and beyond on what's the next big storyline to be told. Man in the Arena featuring Tom Brady already had its trailer drop early this year. Will we see Brady's cards 3x or 4x from his current prices leading up to that documentary? I highly doubt it. Magic Johnson's got a documentary lineup as well, and people are already talking about his cards or any other Lakers players such as Shaq and Kobe. It's quite amazing to see how far people can reach out to make simple summaries that the release of a video on a predetermined date can ignite a mad rush for people to buy sports cards. Whether it's Brady or Johnson, these documentaries are not Last Dance 2.0, certainly not in terms of its impact to the card market. The surge in the spring of 2020 was fueled by people getting stuck at home with extra cash in their pocket, and the Last Dance just ignited sports fans' nostalgia spark, which resulted in a lot of cards and a lot of money entering the market. In my opinion, it's very unlikely a similar scenario to ever occur again. And in reality, we need to understand that it takes a lot more than just a release of a TV series to push the market up. That being said, people love to speculate on the market, and with YouTube and social media these days, it's quite easy to get people hyped up about something. So while there are winners in these instances, there's probably a greater deal of losers who buys into these trends. So if you guys like this video and found it very useful, do like and subscribe for more content in the future. I will be putting up similar videos, so do watch out for that. Thanks and have a great day.